Welcome, everyone.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you both doing?
Doing good.
I'm doing great. Alive, alert, enthusiastic.
That's good to hear. That's real good to hear. Yeah, I'm doing real well too. Did you both have a good day?
Yeah, my day was pretty chill. Not much happened.
Yeah, my day's been very delightful.
Yeah, my day's been very busy. I've been going through today. I was working on the website, working on our social media, and just organizing a lot of things. And so what I was doing was I was taking the different things that I was doing, the different steps that I was doing, and keeping track of how long they were taking me, and writing down those things and asking myself, from the point of view of the people we help, is this valuable to them or is this wasteful?
Yeah. Speaking of that, did you want to throw the socials in the comments so folks could check those
Yeah,
out?
you know what? Let's put that in there. And actually, something kind of fun that we did is we started a link tree. And so I'm going to paste the link tree in the chat.
All right. So while you are doing that, I just wanted to start off by asking what matters in the world of code whatever? What's happening?
Yeah, it's been an interesting moment for us, for sure. Semi and I have been doing a lot of work on the website lately. And
What's that work? What's that work been like?
If I can go. Yeah, it's been interesting. I've been learning a lot in terms of web development.
yeah, we've gone all around the website. And actually, maybe this would be a good moment to even just talk about this, because we've been working on this website together, and so tonight we want to make sure that folks learn a little bit about what we're doing with this website, and to also help folks. Folks have websites of their own that they're working on. They're welcome to ask us questions about that tonight. But we're going to be giving kind of an update of how the website's been going.
Awesome. All right.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no, you're okay. I was going to say, yeah, so tonight we'll be talking about the website. Semi, is there anything you're thinking of about the website tonight that you think is really important?
There are a few things. I've been thinking about. The nav bar. I've been thinking about the templating engines that we've been using.
Yeah, so we should have some good learning tonight about templating or making your website easier to maintain. And we'll also be talking about the nav bar and even more.
Before we do get into that, is there any announcements that we have that we want to make?
Yeah, we've got a few announcements tonight. So one thing I just want to invite folks to do is that our website is connected to a GoFundMe. So folks can donate on our GoFundMe. We're a 501c3. And what to you, I'm going to share something that matters to me that's really important and why this work is so urgent, why getting help helps us. One thing that I know about this work is that there's a lot more people who need help than we're able to help. And the more time that we have at this work, literally, it gives us a chance to answer one more email of a learner who's trying to get help. Yeah, and the GoFundMe is also in the link tree.
Yeah, so all the money that goes to Code Whatever goes to the staff. Not everyone. Most people that work on here don't get paid. So even we do it out of the we do it out of the passion in our hearts for what we do, and providing that education, that free education for folks that need clear help for to just gain those computer literacy skills.
I mean, it's kind of wild, right? Like we have like 4 different sessions every single week of learning, and we also have groups that meet in the mornings too. So
lots of really amazing stuff happening all the time.
Yeah, so it's constant programming. It's not for a lot that we do this. So that's my first announcement. Semi, do you have any announcements?
As far as announcements go, we also have Human Rights Sundays pitch-in.
Yes, let me pull that up too.
Yeah, and let me just say a little about that.
Yeah, you
pitch-ins are really great. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. No, but pitch-ins are a really great opportunity to get together with passionate folks who really want to talk about what's going on in the world. You know, that's more of the human rights side of Code Whatever. Like, we like to think of both sides as working together, but it's also it's a side where you're able to bring in primary sources. You're able to bring in a poem or a story or anything that really you're just passionate about that incites conversation. That's really what we want to focus on, like building conversation and having constructive ways to talk about what's happening, what's going on in the world of human rights in our local communities. You know, the more we can get engaged with our what's happening locally and understand that contextually and what's happening more globally, that's what we are going for.
Yeah, and it's a space where we use primary sources. So it's not something where we're telling you what to think. In fact, there's lots of different points of view of people who come into the space. And so it's something that, and you don't have to just focus on a human rights topic. You can bring an idea you're passionate about. You can pitch something. You can practice your communication skills. And so like if you want to come in and practice a speech, if you want to act a play out with friends, if you want to have a debate, all that stuff you can do on Sundays. And yeah, go ahead.
And it's a range of spectrum. It's everything you're saying. And it's really a range of, like, some days we are very like solemn. Sometimes it really is just focused on something happening. Sometimes it gets kind of like, it's kind of is silly. We try to keep things lighthearted, mostly just for just so that we can stay focused and make sure that we're having it's a fun time. Everyone's really passionate.
Yeah. And so, yeah, and tomorrow night we'll be streaming live and broadcasting about human rights again as well, Sunday and tomorrow. Who wants to talk about the Code Lab on Thursday?
I could talk a bit about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every Thursday around 8 p.m. Eastern time, we have the Code Labs. It's a place where you can come, bring a project that you're working on, communicate with other programmers. It's a great place for beginners to come, and also intermediates, whatever your skill level.
Yeah, and then one last thing is, a lot of folks here volunteer on different things. So some people are coming here to learn to teach. Like a lot of us are here to improve our teaching skills, and we also we need people to volunteer for the human rights learning. We need people to volunteer for coding, and we even need people to volunteer to help us with communications, which is really important. So you can volunteer. You can email me, ba@codewhatever. I'm going to put it in the chat, or info@codewhatever even. I'm going to put it in the chat. And yeah, if anybody wants to volunteer, just reach out. So I think, are there any more announcements left?
No, I'm thinking that we can get a little bit into what's going on the website, the Code Whatever website.
Let's go. Let's dive in. It's time.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's dive in.
So, yeah, you two have been, I could ask questions, but you two have been working on this for a long time, and it's barely been building up. What's going on here?
Yeah, so we've been, and I want to say to any folks who are in the audience, as you're looking at the website, feel free to share what you're noticing. Maybe we should just take a moment to appreciate the website, the front page, the landing page for a second. Just share what we notice here. I can start. I'm noticing that there's a top level heading here that's underlined.
I'm noticing. You send me, please.
Yeah, I noticed that there is the word home in bold letters to the right.
I'm noticing the video running in the center, the very center of the homepage.
Yeah, there's that video playing along with its closed captions. Yeah, and if you're in the audience, feel free to share in the chat what you notice. What else do folks notice?
Notice we have an events section of the page.
Yeah.
Upcoming sessions. So what's going on in live streams with Code Lab? I'm seeing dates. I'm seeing important dates and times and a little description of what's happening, like what is going to go on in the session.
Yeah. So every session's got its own description. I'm noticing the GoFundMe fundraiser here, and I'm noticing that it's got a minimize button that when I click it, it makes it tiny. Okay, yeah. So what is there? And then I see some testimonials here. What else?
About folks that have worked with Code Whatever.
Yeah, the team of educators, and that brings us down to here.
Yeah, you were telling me earlier a little bit about this, how this actually has a lot of meaning, like a lot of important meaning to you, and how. Yeah, can you say a little bit about that?
Yeah, and actually, I'm just going to share a little bit of history here. So a long time ago, our website's actually based on this website, which when I was living on the steps of the House of Representatives with Cori Bush and AOC, and other representatives of Congress, what I did was I designed this, and when you print it, it prints 4 to a page automatically. And it did that with JavaScript and HTML. So I just did it with JavaScript. And then each of these links goes to different articles to support the claims. But they're all printable and they have a QR code. So that's kind of where this came from, which was just kind of my standard leaflet for letting people know that we were doing coding labs. But that ultimately became this whole website that we have here today. And Semi and Nora did a lot of the work that fleshed it out.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that form was the website. That's how it started.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the like, in fact, this is still actually you can see it's still actually just HTML and Tailwind. Originally, it was with vanilla CSS.
Oh no, it's not just a PDF.
No, it's actually code.
That's been so fun for me because I'm a very new coder. I'm very new to it. I'm still very much an amateur, but it's been really fun. Like the fact that everything that you see on your screen is really there has a story behind it. There's something going on that made it that put that text or that picture or whatever you see. There's something that brought it there.
So you're saying, oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm also intrigued. You have a lot of things listed here. What did people come in for the most?
I think the thing we'd get the most is building a website, and people would come in for career stuff. And then like JavaScript, that was a common one. Express, get those were the there was somebody who actually came in with this for C++, using Arduino.
Cool.
That was the most weird thing we got.
And I'm noticing that there isn't a link on here.
Yeah, no, it's been declawed, as it were.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. I was just wondering about that.
Yeah. It used to be that you could just, you just print up the page and the 4 would be on the page. We didn't continue that feature, but that was an original feature of the web page.
So,
yeah.
Is there anything else you want? Anything else on the web page that?
I think maybe do we want to take now? Here's the. Oh yeah, go ahead. Oh yeah, you go ahead.
Because I also want to hear about where the web page is going. So I what else is happening?
I think let's take a look at the web page now. So, and I've got a little bit here. So this is the web page. Semi, do you want to lead the discussion about this a little bit, or talk about it, or do you want to just share what we notice here as we're going down a little bit, and maybe just put on the ground?
Share a bit about what I noticed.
Yeah.
Talk about it. So just from what I'm seeing right here, I see a couple of links, tags. I see a couple of title tags. And I also notice, yes.
Oh, go ahead. Tell me if I'm going too fast.
Oh, no, you're fine. Can you scroll down a bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm noticing a lot of, in the class tags, we have like code that says w-full, or we have code that says, that would be on the div tag. I mean the one above the A tag.
Yeah, I'm noticing a lot of details. I'm noticing tags, and each of the tags have a lot going in them. The tags have a lot going on in them. I know I'm seeing a lot of repeated details within the tags, but I'm also seeing a lot of different things happening.
Yeah, what are some of the differences?
So I'm seeing the differences. So there's a difference between link and link. And then when it goes to meta, they have different interiors. So link has rel equals quote manifest close quote href, and then there's a link, and then for meta it says meta name equals quote ms application dash tile color close quote content, and then it looks like what equals quote hashtag, and then there seems to be a string, like there seems to be letters and numbers.
So yeah, you're noticing a combination of letters and numbers for the attributes of name and content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm noticing this SVG element. I think, is that an element you wanted to talk about later, Semi?
Yes, we can talk about that right now, actually.
Should we just jump into it? Let's just jump into it and let's embed that in our index page. And yeah, let me pull up the SVG.
Embed in the index page.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what do you notice about this SVG right here? Is this large enough? Should I make this larger?
Larger the better. I'm noticing width versus height.
Oh, sorry.
So it has something to do with dimensions, the size of the dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that it's made up of a couple different things. Like we have the word rect, we have the word text multiple times.
I'm noticing as you're scrolling over these different tags, we're seeing on the left on the web page, it's highlighting the text, the component that it comes from. Words. Where's words?
So I'm also noticing that the fill here is magenta, and there's a height of 20, and there's a width of 372, and next of 8 and a y of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I can also talk a bit about why it is magenta.
Mm-hmm.
So if you notice the website, I tried to stay on brand with the colors.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the code, whatever colors, is some sort of purple, and I'm not sure. I wish I knew the exact hex code and then just black and white.
Mm-hmm. There is an exact hex number. I think we have in a file somewhere like an exact hex code on it. We can look that up.
Yeah, I think our name tags is the shade of purple.
Mm-hmm. And so is there anything for folks that's puzzling about this? Do you like the way this was written?
From my point of view, I see a lot of details. I see a lot of things happening, and sometimes, but when I'm looking closer at it, I do see sort of a formula, if you will. I feel that it works well because when you're looking at like rectangle, like you can kind of make out what things mean as you're looking through it. But for me, I should speak for myself. I can understand what's going on if I'm looking at the details and really like saying, okay, text equals X 8, Y 90, class fill white dark, black white. So I'm seeing there's a size, X and Y is like, that's a number that decides like how big it is. And then I'm seeing class fill white dark fill black, like that's filling different colors and using different sort of attributes, showing allowing you to use different attributes on the web page. So like at first it seems overwhelming, but as I sort of start to like really speak and like look at the details and think about what the words mean, it makes more sense. I'm starting to see a story unfurl. I'm starting to see it correlate to the actual web page, which I think is pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's like as you start getting into it more and start talking through it, you start noticing more. And then you start understanding more because you see like, oh, this thing relates to that thing.
Absolutely.
Okay. Semi, do you have more thoughts about the SVG or more you want to say about it? What was it like making it?
It was fun. I used to work, my first college programming course was with this Java library, Java, not JavaScript, library called processing. And the SGV, the way the SGV works, a lot of the names like rect and text are similar, like width and height. You use a lot of that. So it was nostalgic,
So you've had some experience.
Yeah.
It is beautiful. I don't mean to like it is beautiful though, and it looks very professional. I can tell that you've been putting lots of really hard and focused work into this. SVG, can you talk a little bit more about what SVG means? Is that an acronym?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is scalar vector graphic.
Yes, scalable. Yeah.
Scalable vector graphic. I think Illustrator also works with SVGs. You can make SVGs through Inkscape. Getting a little ahead of myself there.
Yeah, that's like the whole basis of Illustrator.
Yeah, Illustrator and Inkscape, the free version of Illustrator.
Yeah, so SVG, this is actually an SVG test suite. Let's see. But yeah, SVG, I'm getting away from it. So SVG, you can use it, for instance, there's all different kinds of elements that you can use. Like, for instance, the one we were looking at is rect. And so in this case, right, like, what do you notice here in this code?
So I'm noticing, I'm noticing a lot of what I saw on the Code Whatever website, but I'm also seeing something new, which is viewbox, and then a sequence of numbers. X molns, I don't know how to pronounce that, and then say it's a link. So, and if it's a visual graphic, it's about something visual that you see on the website. It's not necessarily. That's what I.
Yeah, it's a visual. So, and like for instance, if I go to that link, what is this? What do you notice on this page?
I'm noticing text, and I'm noticing a few links. And that's where it's like highlighted, or not highlighted, but it's a different color and with it underlined?
Yeah, and also one thing
W3.
is it's the W3C.
Mm-hmm. Making the web work.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they literally wrote HTML.
Mm.
So when you look at this link, that gives you a sense of where it's from. So, yeah, so SVG, what are you noticing about SVG? How would you describe SVG now that you're looking at it a little bit?
How I would?
Yeah, how would you describe it?
I would describe it as a format that has lots of tools in order to kind of build a visual. Let me not use the words. Build something that you can see on a website, like visually, as well as some deeper attributes with links and whatnot. That's what I notice.
So, yeah, so that you can build something visual in the browser, I'm hearing you say, well, and you were mentioning the links, like a link like this one, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, if we're thinking about this, right, like looking at the different properties, right, like we can actually come around here and look at the attributes here. And so like when we're looking at like one like that, for instance,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
let's see, is it here? Or is it in the other section? I think it's an attribute. But like for instance, I know what that does in terms of just like sharing the standard. But I want to see if I can find here what the source of it is. Yeah, so I can find it. Even if I just Google it here quickly. So what are you noticing here? Even if I just Google the word.
X. In the attribute, letters is like a reversed word, which is used only to declare a namespace. So
yeah, does this sound familiar to anyone? Like a namespace,
like a
and a reserved
variable,
word.
almost like an algebra, like a variable.
Well, so we're dealing with XML, right? And then we've got in SVG, we've got all these different properties here. And so we're dealing with that SVG. And so like, is SVG a subset or a superset of XML?
A subset or a superset of XML. Can you ask that one more time?
Yeah, so like for instance, is SVG a type of XML or is XML a type of SVG?
I would say that XML is a type of VSG?
SVG?
SVG.
I see. Okay, cool. So
That's my theory.
this is giving us a sense of how we're under. Yeah, right. That's the current working theory. And so when we're thinking of SVG though, like for instance, XML, like HTML has all these brackets and everything. And when we looked at this XML LNS, right? Like it's a reserved word of XML. So and then it refers to this, which we looked on the W3. And so anyhow, that kind of, I know we want to get back to, I know I'm explaining a little bit, but I know we also want to think about the bigger subject too a little bit. And we can come back to this a little maybe later, but this is like, in this case, this is just the standard, right? As we saw earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and one thing I'm learning in my process is definitely just welcome the confusion. Like if there's a moment where I just don't understand something, it's okay. I don't need to. And honestly, I might have to ask the same thing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, 10 times before I really get it. And it's okay. And that's part of the learning process. Do not fight it.
nah. And it's like, it's important to like, I'm a little bit impatient right now because I want to make sure we get to all the things we're hoping to go to today. But it's exciting to be thinking about this stuff, right? Like if I, for instance, if I take this out here and I run it again, what do you notice? Did anything change?
No.
I did not see a change.
Yeah. So even though this is a thing that's in here, it doesn't actually make any difference if I were to say magenta run. What do you notice there?
Oh, the line, I noticed the line turned magenta.
Yeah. And we can even, like say like this and run. And what do you notice there?
The line just moved a little bit down. Like it was like that. And it went down.
Yes, the line moved.
Yeah, the line moved.
So let's come back here now. What are there any more puzzles about SVG that we want to explore, or how are people feeling about SVG? Should we look? So SVG has been one of the parts of our website, and it was kind of very satisfying to work on this. Semi, is there any other SVG we're thinking about working on right now?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay.
Great. Should we? I would also love to. I noticed the meet the team section on the website. If we don't have anything else to talk about SVG, I would love to hear your guys' take on that.
Yeah, Semi's actually working on that again. So Semi, do you want to talk about this?
Not working on it right now, but
no.
Yeah, I was. Some of the concerns that I had for it, the formatting, the way the pictures look, and the way the text kind of wraps around just looks really messy to me. That was something that always bothered me when I did make it eventually. When I did make it initially.
So that was the before, and now this is the after, or do you have more plans for this?
Oh, I have more plans. This is something that I just never got around to fixing, and yeah, I had plans. I did make some mock-ups. Sadly, I do not have them ready, but there's also a bit when you stretch it out. I don't know if you can stretch it out here.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, like that.
The
pictures kind of go to the side when it's larger.
Yeah, I'm noticing that the text moves as it's not one solid thing. It moves as you move the browser. You make the browser larger or smaller.
Right.
Yeah, and
which I
yeah, it's responsive.
It's responsive, and I think that's a good quality, because sometimes it's annoying when you have like one thing that's solid and you make it smaller or bigger. Sometimes the whole thing gets smaller and you can't even read it. But this way, you're able. The text is more adaptable. It adapts to the size of the screen, the browser.
Yeah,
I am curious. Is there's anything anybody noticed immediately, good or bad, you know?
I noticed the contrast first off, that with the black and the white, like they really pop, and the pictures look really good. They look very good. I really like how it looks.
Nice.
Yeah. And how's the HTML structured?
How is the HTML structured?
Yeah, like what do you notice in the HTML here? Like we have this HTML here for this, right? And like, what are you noticing here?
I'm noticing in division class, we have the team. I'm noticing that rounded LG W-1/4. I'm noticing under div class equals P-2, there's a class, and it's quote team P descriptor CS. That's what I'm noticing.
Yeah. And what do you think some of this stuff does? Do you have some ideas of what this stuff might do?
I wonder if team-p-descriptor-cs is something that is a variable of sorts, like it means something else that has that meaning, or if that is a specific thing that has to do with HTML, or if that's actually text that I'm not seeing.
Yeah, let's see what happens if we get rid of this. What changed? Do you want me to refresh?
Yeah.
Wait, I'll do one better. So yeah, I can. If I click these checkboxes, right, these are all the different CSS properties that make this happen. So what are you noticing?
I'm sorry, I have a quick question. Are we trying to wrap the stream up at the end of the hour?
We could, yeah. I think that's the goal.
Okay.
Unless folks want to take a little bit longer, but I'd feel great about wrapping up right at the hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, what are you noticing? Like, I'm
not noticing any big changes.
You noticing any little changes?
Oh yeah, so there's a formatting. There's something formatting happening that's changing. Maybe it's the spacing. Maybe there's a larger.
Yeah, right. Like the spacing. Like, so when we're looking at team description P here, right? You can see that these are the properties that are associated with it. So yeah, go ahead.
Very cool. Very cool.
So yeah, now we're going to be doing. Okay, go ahead.
I was wondering if there was any feedback, like what is your method of, do you get how do you get feedback from users? Is there a process that you have where you get
Yeah. So the biggest way we get feedback from users is they ask us for stuff, right?
Right.
Like we talk a lot about Vanguard method here. We talk a lot about Vanguard method, but like actually, when we ask people what matters to you, what brings you here, and they tell us. Or when somebody's like, hey, like I used your web page, you should have an email contact on it. Or I used your web page and the stuff's out of date, you know? All those things have, like, we keep measurement. In fact, let me show you. Let me just show everybody real quick.
Yeah, and as you're showing it, yeah, we'd definitely take feedback very seriously, and want to curate this the website for folks. Like, curate the this is for the people. It's for the people using it.
Yeah, and so like what's kind of cool about this is we have this, which allows us to, like, we're literally writing down what people ask us for, and then we like sort them by type. So like, for instance, help me get unblocked. That's a really frequent kind of thing that people usually are blocked and they need help.
Yeah.
Help me meet new people to connect with. Help me teach coding literacy. Sometimes like the website, the failure demand is about the website, you know?
And the thing that really pops out for me in this process of being in the demand analysis is how the process values like the users like own language. So like, don't be like to really be. I think we encourage folks to really use their own language to say what they're thinking. They don't need to hold themselves to any strict structures of how they describe what they're seeing, what they're noticing. Really just that's part of the fun, like finding a way that we can talk about this, that we know what's going on with one another.
Yeah, like I think the strongest thing about it is that we're trying to work mainly from things that are people's interests. So for instance, the other day we started using Google Forms and somebody said, well, you could use something maybe more secure so that Google's not stealing your data. And so that gave me the idea that, oh, well, we could just integrate it with a website and then make it secure by bringing it into the website. And so, you know, security has to be integrated with things. And by the way, we also have lots of things that folks can work on too. So for instance, Semi, I don't know if you want to talk about this a little bit, but we have our so our website is, I'm not sure. Oh, go ahead, Semi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we do have a lot of issues on the website right now, at least on the GitLab. I'm just scrolling through to pick out a good one, but
this is on GitHub, right?
This is on GitLab.
Oh, GitLab.
Yeah. GitLab. We do have the newsletter sign up. That's a pretty good one. BA, I remember we talked about adding in a little page where people can go to sign up for the newsletter, so they don't have to contact you directly just to get on it.
Yeah. And there's a lot of interesting things that we're going to be updating soon. Does anyone from the audience? We've got about 10 minutes left, so I want to check in with the audience. Does anyone from the audience have any questions that they kind of want to get answered in the last 10 minutes or get help with, as we're wrapping up? Semi, do you also want to talk about some of the challenges we're working on right now?
Yes, I actually do have a few challenges. I can talk about the nav bar. And I can share my screen if that makes it easier.
Oh yeah, up to you. That's your call.
I'll share my screen.
Okay, cool.
So here we go.
Oh, can you make it a little bit larger too?
Yes. Thanks for reminding me early this time.
You're welcome.
20 should be good.
Oh, very
So,
likely.
I did not work entirely on the nav bar. I believe someone else also worked on it. I don't remember who.
Nora did.
Nora. So this is what the nav bar currently looks like. This isn't deployed on the actual website. If it will load for me. Technology, it never works.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest problem I have right now with the nav bar is that we don't have all the links hooked up. So when you come into here, on the deployed version of the website, which you see when you go to codewhatever.us, you just see the home button. And if you know some other links that are on the webpage, like we do have a Terraria server guide on the website. You can navigate to that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, can you say more about that?
We do have a project. We do have another site of code, whatever, called Project GG. We haven't run it. We haven't ran it in a while, but yeah, one of the events we did for that, Nora put that together, making a Terraria server with T-Shop, so you and your friends can play on your own little server.
Yeah, I'm just going to show very quickly. This was one of the guides Nora wrote.
Yeah.
And actually, it uses our new server technology too. Like it's using our latest stuff too.
Cool.
So yeah, Semi, is there anything else folks should be thinking about in terms of the website? In terms of possible challenges or pull requests they could get involved with?
If you want to like show my screen, but there's a question of things not looking great on every screen with the media queries.
Mm-hmm.
So we have this heading, this random heading is floating all the way to the left. Meanwhile, every other one is centered. This one also sticks out a bit. So those are some pretty easy pull requests you can get. If you shrink the screen size down too much, you'll notice that this disappears. And you can no longer toggle from bright and dark mode.
Mm-hmm. And those are just, sorry, not to interrupt you. Those are just examples of how people who have used the website have engaged with us and you at Code Whatever and made so that you can address those problems and and cater to those needs.
Yeah, so those are some needs that you can work on if you want to.
Yeah, and also if somebody's hoping to come in and do like integration testing too, or like front end testing with Cypress, we're also, folks can write tests, can cover stuff with test-driven development. We'll teach you how to do it, and you can cover the code so that the code that we currently have gets tested. So if a behavior breaks, then we'll know it immediately as soon as it breaks when we run the code. And that's something you can learn about too, and get a pull request on. There's tons of pull requests right now on the website that you can get, put on your resume as an open source project, and show that to the first job you're trying to get hired at.
I love to hear that. I love to hear that.
Seriously, like it's like, how often do you have an open source project that you could just jump on and get a pull request, or a merge request in this case, and get involved? We're trying to set it up for people so they can jump in. Now, we're running out of time here. Time's running nigh. Are there any last thoughts that folks have, folks from the audience or folks on the stage? Any thoughts or questions?
Yeah, and what is the most important thing you hope to do and to do next to apply your learning tonight?
I'm really excited about rewatching this stream.
Me too. I feel like we've covered a lot. We covered a lot, and I'm really, really happy because there's some confusion, but there was also, I love to see you guys do what you're doing, do your work, and
yeah, this is a big risk tonight because we've never really done like a code review exactly for a show, but we got to do that a little bit tonight, and it was thrilling. Yeah, the thing I'm going to be focusing on next. So I kind of have like, I'm gathering data about all the processes and repeatable things that we're doing and systematizing those. And so now I'm trying to make it easier to keep doing all those things every single time, so that like on the homepage, for instance, this is one thing we were going to talk about tonight that we didn't talk about a whole lot, but I'll just very briefly touch on this, and then we'll get the heck out of here so everybody can get out of here on time. But so you see how the page is in HTML over here. Now, if I contrast this HTML, now let's go and look at this code Nora wrote. Which side here is easier to understand?
definitely on the right, I would say.
So in the future, we'll be talking about this too. And what do you notice between the two?
I'm noticing text on the right, and I'm seeing codes and tags on the left.
Yeah. So what we can talk about in the future is how we're going to translate from more simple notations, from this complex notion of HTML, to more simple notions like JSON or Markdown or YAML. And that's all the stuff that's coming in the fore. And that's what we have to look forward to.
Wonderful. This has been a real pleasure.
Truly, truly. Thank you so much, both of you. Anything last that you want to close out with?
No, just thank you. Thank you for tuning in.
This is a great night. And we'll see you again. This group, the code streams, we've been doing it every other week. If we decide to do it next week, we'll let you know. But right now, I think we're planning to do it in 2 weeks. And again, we'll see you on Thursday for the Open Code Lab. And tomorrow night, we're going to have a pitch-in. So bring a speech. Practice explaining a topic. Teach people about something you're passionate about. Tell a story. practice a debate, whatever. But we look forward to seeing you. CodeWhatever.us. Thank you so much, everyone. This has been a lovely night.